Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Red Bra Project. We are here to do what we love to do, which is our Red Bra Project recap. If you are tuning in for the first time tonight, I am Shawna, one of the founders of the Red Bra Project, and here with me is the beautiful Renee.
Hi, Shawna. So good to see you.
Great to see you too. For our followers, new or old, I was asked this week about what the Red Bra Project stands for. I think it was just today, actually, somebody emailed me and said, what are you guys all about? And in case you are just now joining us or you just need a refresher, we are about celebrating and empowering women through their stories, everything that they have experienced. And tonight we are recapping some of those stories in case you've missed them or in case you're joining us for the first time. And so we love to do this every month or so.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I feel like the time goes by so fast, and all of a sudden we look back and we're like, holy cow, we sat down with like 4, 5, 6 incredible women. And I just kind of love these Red Bra recaps, especially for our viewers who may have missed out on some of the episodes. And everyone who's new to following us, welcome. We're so excited to have you. But this is a really cool way to hear snippets of the stories that have been shared, and then we'll tell you all about where you can find the full story. So.
Exactly. And I think tonight, correct me if I'm wrong, episode 22.
That's right, 22.
We have been going since February 14th, and we are on episode 22. We are so excited for the women that we've been able to celebrate in that time.
We really, really are. They've been incredible and such a vast variety of stories too. So I'm going to jump right in, and we're going to go back to our first guest that we're kind of recapping and highlighting tonight, which was episode 17, if I'm correct. And that was Allison Jones. And she was so fun, such vibrant, curly-haired basketball wife, very well-traveled, and has such an incredible story that she shared with us.
Yeah, I mean, I say it about everybody, but I feel like Allison is just one of the most inspiring people that we've gotten to sit down with. And I'll probably say that again for other people that we're recapping tonight, but her story is just, it's so many layers. She's our first to be continued, as we have said on her episode too. Yeah. She's a basketball wife, she's an entrepreneur, and she has successfully battled cancer.
She has had just a crazy 2018, a very unexpected year. And the way that she went about sharing it just as she was going through everything. And if you don't follow her on Instagram, as all of our lovely women, you have to check out her page. But she just documents and talks about the real side of things and what she's going through. And just a little snippet of her story. She went in to see her doctor for regular headaches and things like that. They were happening more frequently, and it turned out that she ended up being diagnosed with a brain tumor. And so they went in and they assessed the situation and they treated her. And we are happy to say that she's doing wonderful today and completely cancer-free, yay, and traveling the world with her husband right now. She's overseas. So it was just such an incredible story. Talk about a whirlwind of events.
Yeah, and I think just if you tune in and you watch her story, if you haven't already, there's just a beauty in how she handled going through that and just her strength that she found to persevere and to be where she is today.
And her own personal journey and faith as well. You know, it's interesting when you look back and kind of connect the dots how things happen. But, you know, leading up to her diagnosis, she started to delve in some other things and just soul searching for herself and beliefs and things like that. And then she went through this phase, and now she's here on the back end of it. And there's still 2 months left in 2018. So we're so excited to see what she does next. And she just launched a brand new candle line, which is exciting.
I know. I'm so excited to get my hands on one of those because the thought process that went into creating a candle, who knew that there was that much time spent on creating a scent?
Yeah, it's really, really cool. So yes, so Allison Jones, number 17. And then from Allison, we got to sit down with the incredible Vanessa. I don't want to butcher her last name, Palencia.
There you go. You got it. Yeah, talk about a beautiful person and human. Just, I mean, she radiates this energy that just, it inspires you to want to get to know her better, to hear her story, and to be in her presence.
Yeah, absolutely. She has such a supportive partner, but she talks about him quite a bit and her adorable son. But Vanessa is actually completely deaf in one ear and partially deaf in the other ear, and she's been like that since she was a child. And so she shared with us her journey about what it was like to go through as a young child, as a young girl and lady and woman, and kind of the things that she went through and struggled with. And it's very touching. It pulls at your heartstrings and it gives you a different perspective. So it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, and there's a beautiful moment where she talks about her partner and how she never really wanted to wear her hair up and show her ears, and just the courage that he gave her in realizing how beautiful she was, and showing them off. And it's just really just, it pulls at your heart when you hear her tell this story.
It does, and she has such this incredible strength about her that, one of the things she shared with us is she went through so much and pushed through so much, and of course hurt, and, just kind of you have a shield where you learn to deflect things, or you learn how to process things, and just what that means, and you want to process it in a healthy way. And now, she talks about just, she's pushed through so much to be that beacon of light for other young girls and women struggling through disabilities. And she's not going to quit. She stands up for that, and she leads with such grace and elegance. And it's just, I don't know. I could wrap my arms around her, and she's just one of my favorites as well. And just to go through something like that. And, we don't always know on the outside what somebody's going through, quite often like that. But, you may say something that you don't realize, but when you hear it again, you're just kind of like, oh man, did I just say that? And, hearing her perspective again, as I mentioned, was just very, very just mind blowing.
Yeah, like I said, I met her virtually through doing this, but I know she is a New England girl right now, and I want to be in her presence. She motivates you to want to do well and to be a better person.
Yes, she does. She does. And what about Miss K?
Talk about just motivating to like the millionth degree. Like, she inspires me to want to just quit my job and do everything. I'm not quitting, boss, if you're watching. But she could take on whatever, and I think really be successful at it because she believes in herself that much.
I know. So Miss K Hillman is based out of Atlanta, Georgia. And when we connected with her, she was completely a woman on the go. So she is jumping in her car with her
dog in the back seat.
Right. Not driving, but jumping on to do our show and things. And it was so great, and just lots of excitement and energy. And you can just know when you sit down with her, you just hear little bits and you keep wanting to hear more, like what happened next? So
it started off so strong, and then there's that really sentimental moment where she talks about how med school wasn't for her, even though that's everything that her family had decided for her. And I think that, she realized, as she stated, that moment, that she wasn't going to cry on the bathroom floor anymore. It's just,
yeah, and that literally gives me goosebumps, because I think we can all relate to that moment where we're like, nope, screw this, we're done. And she made a choice not to go on for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years down a path that she was like, okay, maybe I'm going to end up loving this. Maybe I just need to push through. Maybe I just need to get through this. She knew internally in her gut that it just wasn't right for her. And she made a choice, because this is her life. And I mean, it's so powerful.
And then she decides to be a teacher, but she's overqualified. And she's like, you know what, world, I'm just going to make my own job. That's what you're telling me. And she is thriving.
She really is. And she's just doing what she loves. But at the same time, while she has a plan, she doesn't have it all completely planned out, right? So she shared with us, and for all of our viewers, this is so interesting. So if you're thinking about something that you want to do and you're like, but I don't know how, you don't need to know all of the hows. I mean, Kay is the perfect example of how she took one step. She shares with us how she figured it out and took another step. And that just keeps leading to another one. And here she is blossoming in several different directions. I mean, it is so inspiring.
Yeah, I'm so glad we connected with her. I can't wait. I think we're only seeing the beginning stages of where she's at. I think this is somebody that obviously we want to continue to follow, but our viewers, if you're not already, Miss Kay Hillman, you need to get on that.
She's such a sweetheart. I'll be in Atlanta in a couple of weeks. I'm hoping that we get to meet up. So maybe we'll do another Red Bra first, where we get to meet in person.
That would be very exciting.
We're all about.
I gotta schedule that Vanessa thing then, because she's here.
Yeah, she's like right out your back door.
And then we moved on to Wendy. I've said this to you before, but like my favorite moment wasn't even captured on video, and it was when her daughter came in at the end of our episode. And she jumped on and asked you and me, is my mom going to be famous? And in so many ways she is, because she's doing great things.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it was so sweet. Her kids came in. I think they had a volleyball match or tournament that night, and her husband, and they came running over and gave her a big hug. And it was so, so sweet. And we just had a wonderful, wonderful conversation with Wendy. And she's just someone that you can sit down with and talk with forever and just feel like you've known each other forever. And really, you know, for her, she shared with us what so many of us, again, can relate to. So, you know, she had an incredible career. They've moved around to some amazing cities that she shares with us. And, you know, she's at a point in her life where her kids don't need her quite as much because they're older. So she knew something was tugging at her. She knew that she wanted to go on to the next thing, wanted to do something more, wanted to do something, but she just didn't know what it was. So she started doing a few things here and there, and she's like, no, it wasn't it. And so after all of the moving they've done from city to city, they ended up finally purchasing a home that needed some renovating and updating and things like that. And so she dived right in, and she dove right in, and she kind of got busy and just got lost in her passion. And then all of a sudden she was just in her zone, and her friend
completely organically
would come over and compliment her on what she was doing. And that blossomed into what she's doing now.
Yeah, I mean, her interior designs are beautiful. And I told her that night as we were filming, like, I can't stop looking behind you because just it's gorgeous, her attention to detail, you know, and she's completely self-taught. She said at her age, she was not going back to school. Mm-hmm. So something she enjoyed, but that was not where her efforts were going to be. And so she's, you know, utilizing a talent that she clearly has and following her dreams and teaching her children too, that you're never too old to stop wanting to do what you want to do in life.
Such a great lesson. And you know, how many times have you said that? Or, you know I've said it several times. I've always believed in age is just a number. You're never too old. If you want to grow up and be a professional dancer, if you want to change careers, if whatever it is, but then we get to an age or we get to that place and we're like, no, we're not doing that. We're not going through all of that. Wendy is the perfect example. And I mean, her kids, I wonder why they went running in there. They're so proud of their mama. And, you know, she could have let that stop her. She could have let that be the fear that didn't, you know, that stopped her from enjoying what she's doing, and she didn't.
Yeah, she took that moment to pivot to a new career, and I think the payoff is there for her. And you can see the happiness when we were meeting with her, just that she has so much joy in what she was doing. And not knowing before, we didn't know her in the other industry, but there's an energy that you feel for what she's doing now.
Yeah, there absolutely is. And it's just really cool to sit down with, you know, with women who wear so many hats. I mean, we all do as women, but to hear the little bits and pieces about how it all comes together and you transition and you go on to the next thing. I mean, it's incredible. And, you know, while one story may personally impact one person, you know, someone else's story may resonate with somebody else. And it's just really neat that we can share it in this type of way. So
definitely. After Wendy, we had our first Red Bra first. We had 4 people on the screen that night, you and me and 2 guests.
Oh my gosh, talk about fun. They were so, so fun. That's right. Our last episode, which was episode 21, we sat down with Madison and Melrose. So that's Christine and Audrey from Madison and Melrose. Incredible woman. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so grateful that we have connected with them, that our followers now can connect with them. They just are 2 women who have very similar stories and yet so different. And they were in careers that were okay, made them, you know, meet the needs they needed to live, but they weren't finding that ultimate joy. And so a couple of discussions together made Audrey do a soft launch of this company. And then she brought Christine on when she said, I'm not doing this without you anymore. And they're thriving. I mean, they told us on the episode that they have a $1 billion investor with them. And that's incredible. We want to make sure we're clear on the billion, because they were saying it that night too.
You know, one of the things that really just kind of resonated with me was for both of them, it was they weren't going to take the time to build somebody else's dream. They knew that they had a vision. They knew that they wanted to do something else. They knew that they weren't completely happy. And I mean, the underlying message in so many of our stories that women share with us is, I knew there was more and I wasn't honestly happy. And I know that it would be a huge leap if I took it, but I knew I had to. And they just believed and they did it. And, you know, they didn't have everything figured out at the beginning. None of us do, but they took every little step to get there. And, you know, now they have a team working with them, you know, and I mean, they've grown so much. They're based out of New York City, and their work is beautiful, and they get to help people with their story and kind of define what they're doing and give them a sense of meaning. And it's so powerful because of how they're helping others in the world.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the beauty of they didn't want to do somebody else's dream anymore. So now they're fulfilling their dream while helping other people get to their dreams. And so I just think that their story it's kind of poetic, just the way that it's writing itself right now.
Yeah. And how about those red bra moments?
Oh, I mean, I get chills when I think about both of them. Christine's was beautiful about finally having, you know, self-love for herself after years of, I think, body image issues, and she got this amazing campaign through Adore Me, and which is a lingerie company if you're not familiar. And it really, I think for the first time, she said, made her see what probably the rest of the world was seeing. She had fluctuated for years with her weight, and she was you know, at a heavier point in her life at that point, but she felt so confident, saw the photos, felt beautiful, and is now teaching people, you know, that you can feel comfortable in your skin. And you should. And she looks gorgeous in all of her photos, but I did go and search those, and wow, they're beautiful. So
yeah, I love how she's documented where she's come from the very beginning as well with her first blog post. So it's always cool to see, you know, the journey that everybody has been on and where they are now. You can never compare somebody's, you know, middle to your beginning and all of that, which is so true. And, you know, Audrey shared with us one of her most challenging years of her entire life. And, you know, that was really vulnerable. And I love that these two women got so authentic, and that's their thing. You can take literally 10 seconds and look at their Instagram page, both individual and on Madison and Melrose, and know that what you see from them is authentically them. I absolutely love it. And for them to share those pieces of information with us was just such an honor to have them on our show.
Yeah, Audrey's moment, I felt like I resonated a lot with her in a year where like my life has literally had a roof come off of my house and things have happened, and just hearing her say, all that matters in the end is that I love me and I'm here. And I think that's just such key advice that I myself need to take, that as long as I know that I'm strong and I'm okay and I can handle this, then the rest will fall into place. And so I really hope that if people have not watched that episode yet, that they do go back, because I mean, this is just a snippet of what they shared with us.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, we just kind of quickly ran through our highlights for the past few weeks, but you know, we really try to always have the show component and then the blog as well, our blog post. And together they really marry each other well, because we try and cover everything that we talked about. And there's just so much that's covered in such a little time frame. I mean, talk about a fast and furious share, but it's so incredible. And we sit down and it's such a great time. And, you know, there's just so many things, as I mentioned before, that somebody may pick up from one story and get from another one. And it's just really cool.
Yeah. I love these recaps. They help me remember all of our wonderful guests, and they just get me excited for all of our up and coming ones as well.
Oh my goodness. Yes, yes. And so if you're new to our show and you're just catching the recap, welcome. We're so excited to have you. And if you're a return viewer, we so appreciate you. And we hope that you guys are enjoying some of the stories that we get to share with you and from our guests that we're honored to have on our show. And if you have a story that you want to share with us, please do reach out and contact us through Instagram. That's where the party happens over there. All of our contact info is over there. But we post daily and kind of put up who our story is of the week and things, and then where to find that person. And also on the redbrawproject.com is where you can find all of our blog posts. So we end every show with a quote, and this being Halloween week, I actually chose two quotes. So, and I thought the first one was really fitting for our guests. So it's not where you go, it's who you meet along the way. And that was from The Wizard of Oz. So I thought that was such a great fit for so many of our women and their journey and how we're sharing this with each other, because that's one of our questions is who has impacted you along your journey or really kind of been there to sit by your side and cheer you on. And that's such an important part.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, this has been so much fun. I cannot wait.
I have one more quote.
Oh, sorry. Just kidding.
So
it's still been fun.
I'm still on the Wizard of Oz. Okay. It was a Halloween week. And so I'm going to read this one. So you've always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself. Ooh, I'm going to say that one more time. You've always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself. And that is from Glinda, the Good Witch of Oz.
And it's so fitting for the guests that we recapped this week, because it's like they all waited for that moment where they're like, you know what, I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's so fitting for all of us, because there are days when we feel like we don't have the power, but really we have everything that we need right inside of us. So.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. If you have not subscribed to our channel, we ask that you do. Hit that bell so you get notifications. We typically post every Wednesday night, but just in case we do a little extra recap like this one, make sure you've got that bell so you get the subscribe notification.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Have a great week, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.